hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. In my heart, I can't let go, I'm breaking apart, controlling me.
Oh my God.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is the note right there, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Paranormal Portal. How's everybody doing? We hope you're doing good, and I realized something, Don.
Uh-oh.
The moon is not lit.
The moon. It is a black moon tonight.
It's a dark moon.
It's a dark moon.
And the shadows strengthen themselves.
Isn't that a song?
No, I don't know. Probably. Seems like everything's a song.
Dark Moon Rising or something like that.
It could be. I don't know. You're much more versed in the musical lore than I.
What you're saying is don't start singing, Don.
Don't start singing, Don. That's always what I'm saying, but do you need a lighter or anything?
Oh, yes, please. I need to see if I can set my beard on fire.
Let's see if tonight's the night, ladies and gentlemen.
I
where
almost
we
broke into song.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard habit to break, huh?
Yes, that was a song, too.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
You caught me that one, didn't you? You did that on purpose.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready because it's time for some Paranormal Mayhem up here in the Paranormal Portal. Hang on, we're going in. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. And in case you didn't notice before, I'm not alone here in the studio. I am joined by my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
That would be the guy sitting to his right, which is your left. Figure that one out.
To my right is this way, oddly enough, but the camera, my right, is this way. And if you want to be a part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to call in. And it's the number's right up there. Still small.
Yeah.
I just want Julia to know that I really thought about it hard today. But again, I've been absolutely swamped today, and it's been incredibly busy here in the Paranormal Portal studios.
We want to include Julia. We want to make sure that she knows that there's something smaller than her. Love you, Julia.
Julia is a little diminutive little angel.
She's vertically challenged.
Oh, but she's got a heart bigger than the world.
That is true.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to the show. Hope you're doing good, and good to see all you guys. Cade Shipley?
Cade Shipley, yeah, that's a new name.
Nice to see you, Cade. Thanks for stopping in and checking out the show.
Armand Adams. That's a new one to me.
Is it? Yeah. I think Armand might have been here before, but I'm not sure. You know how I am with names.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You know, I have trouble remembering my own. So
me too.
Not really, but I can usually remember mine. So what's the big secret?
What big secret? What are you talking about?
Oh, they're just alluding to the fact that I keep going.
You just keep teasing people?
I keep teasing, but there is something in the works, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just talking to Don before the show. I was like, when do you think we should unveil it? And it's just one of those things. It's going to be very soon. You're going to hear about it. Now, let me just say this. It when you hear what it is, you might be like, "Oh,
it might be anticlimactic."
You might think you might think it's no big deal,
right?
But I swear to you, this is a huge deal for us, and it's a huge deal for the portal.
Right.
I can only tell you that it's going to be very epic. It's going to be huge.
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 In the words of our president, it's going to be huge. I think that's how he says it.
Huge.
Doesn't he say
huge.
Oh, huge, like
huge.
it's a Y?
Like a Y, yes.
It's going to be huge.
It's huge.
Yes,
well, he's a New Yorker,
That's right, he is. He doesn't talk like a New Yorker, though. The New Yorker's like, hey, quit busting my chops, huh?
Oh, what you
Forget
doing?
about it.
Oh, you bunch of mokes.
Yeah, I used to be able to do a really decent New York accent, but I've kind of lost it. It's one of those things, with that kind of stuff. If you don't use it, you kind of lose it. Well, that's true for me. So, And so it is. But we're going to do an episode of Paranormal Mayhem here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you guys are ready for the fun that always is generated from within the folds of the Paranormal Portal.
Well, there's a new name.
What's that?
Contemptible Thoughts in the chat room.
Oh, that's a cool name. I like that.
That's a great name. Contemptible. Yes, that's usually us, too.
Good evening
We're
to
part
you.
of that.
Well, I am just thrilled you're here. Thanks for finding us. However you found us, it's really cool to see these new names coming through, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. We have a lot of fun doing it. Now, if you're new to the Paranormal Portal, you're going to find that, we do all things paranormal. We really do. We have a lot of fun doing it. There's a lot of people out there doing the paranormal in the real dark and brooding way. Yes. And then, I think it's really wild when that stuff happens. And, it means the demons are watching. And, it's just like, well, there's about 11 zillion shows out there like that. And I love the paranormal, don't get me wrong. And I even love those kind of shows. But when we were thinking of the Paranormal Portal and what it would become, it was like, well, let's have fun with it. Let's do this stuff and have serious conversations, but also have a good time with it because the paranormal by itself is dark enough. You don't have to do theatrical stuff to make it darker. I mean, not exclusively. There's some very bright and wonderful paranormal things that go on, but of course, when you think of paranormal, you think of the dark stuff. And so we just like to have a good time with it. So we're not being like dorky on purpose. Well,
we're just this way.
This is just how we roll. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if I was dropped on my head a lot when I was little or what, but it's just the way I am. I like to have fun. I like to laugh, and I love good conversation, and I love the participation of you guys out in the chat room. You guys as the callers to the show, however you participate. If you have an experience of your own that you'd like to share and would rather not call in and be a part of the show yourself, but would like to share your experience, please feel free to email us at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. And let me know in the email if you want to be identified or not. You certainly don't have to be. It's not a prerequisite. It's fine if you do. If you're okay with that, that's cool. But if you don't, I'm good with it either way. I just love to hear what you guys have experienced. Yeah, this show is GMO free. Unless I might be a little genetically modified. I'm not sure, but
well, and that's funny because Randall just said you guys should light some candles, put on some eyeliner, and sound like Batman. Hey, Mike Cool's back. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy.
Oh, nice, nice.
Anthony Schaus, that's a new name to me.
Oh, very cool. It's really cool to see these new names coming through. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in, Anthony, and Mike Cool. Good to see you again, and all the other new names. Yeah. It's really fun. So anyway, that's just a short introduction to the show. If you're brand new to it, we just like to have a good time. So if you and by all means take part in the chat room if you're out there listening. We honest to God
happy birthday, Anthony.
Oh, who's?
He says my birthday's tomorrow.
Anthony's? Happy birthday, brother.
Anthony Schaus, yeah. The new guy.
The new guy.
The F and G.
Usually new guys bring, when they have birthdays, they bring cake.
There you go, yeah. Did you bring enough for everyone?
I mean, you remember that when you were in elementary school, Don? You always had to bring like a tray of cookies and stuff for all these kids that you didn't like.
I had to bring mud pies because I didn't have any. My mom make a cake. Are you kidding?
No, my mom didn't make them either. She went to the store and bought a tray of cookies. Here you go.
That would have never happened in my life. No. Aww. You want to take cookies? You go make them. So that's how I learned how to cook.
Oh, very cool. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Frank Lambert, good to see you.
Sponge cake.
Sponge cake. I'm ready. That's a whole different kind of funny.
Oh boy.
All right, but we're going to get into the paranormal mayhem tonight, and what the mayhem is just a whole lot of various subjects that we cover, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So hopefully you agree that it's fun and not annoying as hell. And if it,
Guess what? Who's got the mic?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the problem is they put a microphone in front of me, and I usually fill it with all kinds of random noise.
You
So
put the microphone in front of you.
I put it in front of you.
That's true.
I invited
That is true.
your brand of mayhem to the show.
Oh, God,
so
yeah. It's never been the same.
it never has. No. There's no going back now, Don. It's so broken.
Doggone it. Why are you so broke?
I don't know. Why are you so broken, Don?
Oh, man.
So anyway, I was looking through some stuff before the show, Don. And one thing I'd like to point out right away, which I thought was pretty humorous, because this was just a new, really recent UFO thing going around. And people were like, oh, man, there's an actual craft and pristine, clear pictures of it and stuff. And people were all excited about it. But I want to put it on the screen here, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are watching your screen. If you're just listening, you're going to miss it, but I'm going to put it up there and you can see. And if you're familiar at all with some of the paranormal claims that are out there, you're going to know this one right away. Okay, so here it is, ladies and gentlemen. And this article is coming from the singularfortean.com. And I like this site. It's been really cool. It's been we've been using it on several shows, and it's an excellent site. But there's the picture, ladies and gentlemen. Are you familiar with this picture? This is the one that's out there. There people say they were motorcycling up in the mountains in Australia and came across a UFO crash site. Well,
wait, they have mountains in Australia?
Allegedly, they do.
Well, allegedly, Australia isn't there.
Well, for not being there, they also have mountains.
That's apparently so.
All
Sorry,
right,
go ahead.
so photos of Australian UFO crash taken from set of sci-fi show Hunters. Hunters, ladies and gentlemen, that's why it's such a pristine, amazing picture, is because it's a set that they shot a big scene there, apparently.
Great one.
Says photographs sent to the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, as proof of an extraterrestrial craft having crashed in the Macedon region of Australia have found to be actually prop pieces from a set of a sci-fi channel television show called Hunters, which is filmed in Australia. The photographs were attached to MUFON case 99500 and accompanied by the following description of events. I was talking to my son's friends and saying that I had in the past seen things that made me believe that UFOs exist. One of them sent me these pictures of their friends who were out on motorbikes in the Macedon ranges where they came upon a crashed UFO. They took some pictures that I am sending to you. They called some friends and told them they would come and pick them up to show them the object. And when they returned, a few hours later, the site had been cleaned and there was no remains of the object. There was some police barrier tape, but everything else was gone. They did take some pictures with their phones before and after. So I love this picture, Don.
I know.
Let's zoom into that. There's the bigger picture. It's a couple of guys. The guy's hoisting a beer. This is definitely Australia. I love it. It's awesome. The guy's just sitting there with a beer, I mean, what do you want to do when you find a crash UFO? And having a beer is really high on this guy's list. I want to sit and do selfies with a beer.
With a beer.
And this apparently is the trail where the crashed UFO went through the forest. But yeah, this was just a set, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've seen this or these pictures or this claim out there, it's from the Sci-Fi Channel.
I swear, somehow I went to a Linda Moulton Howe video.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm like,
wow.
Dang.
I think your computer's haunted tonight, Don.
Everything's haunted tonight.
However, those of you that tuned into Monday's show, when I was doing the bedtime stories, you heard my mic going crazy, which has never happened before or since. And it sounded like somebody was talking almost. It was almost like in a rhythm of speech. So I thought that was pretty cool. Hasn't happened again since, but now that Don's back.
Well, and then when we fired up the studio today, remember my mic was just totally out. It was just gone. It was like
it was as gone as it's ever been. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure what's going on, but very strange things happening in the studio. And if you're new to the show, we believe this is the only paranormal show in existence that is haunted.
So far.
So far. No, I say that tongue in cheek, of course, but God, sometimes things happen here. I don't know how to explain it. You know, it seems to defy normal hardware issues. Like just random weird crap will happen. It's like, what in the hell's going on? So I always know it's getting close to smudge time.
Yeah, no doubt.
When that stuff happens.
You better break out them feathers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Open that window over there, would you?
Yeah.
Chase them right on out.
Very strange, but no, it hasn't happened since. So that's good. I'm glad that it's not continuing to happen. And even on Monday's show, I was like, you know, it's almost like a voice, like it's almost like an EVP. And as soon as I said that, it did it again. It was really wild. It really had a pattern to it. It wasn't just, I thought it had like a vocal pattern to it. It was just static, but it was not just like,
right.
And it wasn't just.
Yeah, Gemini moon. She says full moon and smudge time. It's full moon. Yeah, well, yeah, it's that time.
Is tonight the full moon, or is it tomorrow?
It's within the time frame. That's all that matters.
I always know the full moon's coming. You know why? Because that's when Deb appears on the portal.
Oh, yeah.
Deb likes the full moons for sure. She will be on this Friday, ladies and gentlemen,
Nice.
doing free psychic readings to callers of the show. And if you want to be a caller of the show, you got to pick up your phone and dial 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500.
There you go.
The call board will be open and is open right now, as a matter of fact, oddly enough. So if you have something you'd like to share or you've experienced, I'd love to hear about it.
Today is waxing, so it's waxing. It's waxing Gibson.
Getting ready for bikini season?
It's waxing a Gibson.
You know, bikini season waxing? Come on.
Oh, gosh.
Don.
No,
Man.
leave that for Teresa. She does the Brazilian stuff.
Teresa?
Teresa, she's one of our listeners.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Goodness.
I don't know. I'm usually busy doing stuff like, talking and reading stories.
None of that, Pam. Stop that.
What is Pam saying?
She just says wax on.
Wax off. Wax on's not so bad as I understand it, but wax off is like a fresh slice of hell every time. The wax off is not real fun.
Get a hold of Teresa de la Vega. That's what she does.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Wow.
Well, I currently am not looking for the bikini cat.
No.
I'm good.
I'm all right. Yeah, thanks.
Yep. I'm not really ready to sport my Speedo quite yet.
Oh my God. Cannot.
No, there's some things that should just be.
So I mentioned that thing about Australia not being real, and I just realized Quicko Reed's there in the chat. Aussie Tiger's in the chat. I'm like, oh, well, I guess there really is a place. The Snowy Mountain apparently is the name of the mountain.
Oh, that's a Macedon.
Is there more than one? I don't know.
I'm not really familiar with a lot of places.
Geographical things.
Yeah, I'm really geographically challenged. I know where Australia is, but I've never been there. I'd love to go there sometime and check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's gonna have to be part of the Portal tour. Get down there someday.
Would love to go down to Australia.
Yes.
Down under.
Down under.
We could go.
Throw some shrimp on the barbie for me.
Go hang out with Ken and look for bunyips and yowies.
Oh God, yeah.
And Aussie as well, if you want to join us. If we ever make it down there, we're going to have a whole Australian portal reunion.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot. We have a lot of listeners in Australia.
I know we do. We really
Matthew
do.
Learn just popped in and said
they're from
Australians are from the future.
Yeah. Say, Matt, next time you just give me the lottery numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Send them back in time to me, and I'll split it with you. We got to make this whole time travel thing work for us.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow. Yeah, very cool. But that's the UFO, the big one that was making the rounds. Yes, it is indeed not real, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. And they were good picks, but I mean, when you first look at them, you're like, oh my God, no. Yeah, no, that's not. I had the doubts.
Oh, I never bought into it for a second. I was just like,
wow,
that doesn't look right to me. That's just way too easy. Now, I mean, if there was at least steam or something coming off of it, maybe a blinking light or something.
There's no. That's only when the production crew's there.
I know. That's just it. But if it's just sitting there dormant and nothing's happening, it's like, Man, if it was really a UFO, there'd be black helicopters everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And there'd be entire regiments of military moving in to secure it. And
America would have invaded already.
We'll take that. No, that's funny because it's actually allegedly happened that the American military has crossed into Mexico to recover supposed crashes. There was one in the north of Mexico, and some people were right there and saw it happen. And next thing you know, there's American military flying in and dropping down from helicopters. And it was so close to the border, they just zipped over, grabbed it, and went home.
Zip lined over and swam back.
It was like they're at the UFO drive-through. Can you supersize that, please?
I remember hearing that. Yeah, I remember hearing that.
They zipped in and grabbed it, strapped it up, and hauled it away. And I guess the Mexican military apparently showed up like a week later.
Late to the party.
They weren't quite as quite as quickly responsive as the U.S. military, but
wow.
So, what is this? Oh, fun! Lucky just posted something. Oh, they did it.
Oh, they got, that's right. She said.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're familiar with our home network, it's tfrlive.com. And the owners and founders of TFR Live are Chris and Cherie Gio. And yesterday was Cherie's birthday.
Yeah.
And she wanted 2 kittens for her birthday. And I just see pictures that they got them. So. Oh, that's adorable.
Hey,
and so they call it, the one of them is Sekhmet and the other one is Bastet.
Go figure.
Yeah, I know. That's totally fits. That's so awesome.
Duke says some Mexican military showed up there first and apparently got killed somehow.
Oh,
so
is that
we
what it
went
was?
in immediately after, is what he said. So.
Very cool. And then in that post, getting back to it, says, fun fact, Brent Thomas has a black kitty named Anubis.
Yes, that's true.
Don knows Anubis, my cat, because
I have a cat named Andromeda. Does
Andromeda.
That fit?
Well, I don't think Andromeda. She wasn't of the Egyptian pantheon.
No,
she was.
She's Greek.
Greek. Yep. Andromeda, the princess.
They're all the same.
Well, are they though?
They're just different.
Are they, Don?
Yes, they're all the same.
I mean, are you really sure? No, I don't know. Maybe they are.
How did I get into a conversation about? Oh, it was in the Aether Archives chat. Somebody said something, and never mind. Way off topic. But it was about God.
That was the most anticlimactic thing
I know,
I've heard
like,
in a long time.
Womp.
So anyway, I got in this chat. Never mind. Well, thank you for using up our showtime with that stunning,
it's mayhem.
riveting story, Don.
It's mayhem.
It is a mayhem night, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that are new to the show, that's how we roll on these mayhem nights. Now we do actually some very, very serious shows, and we've had some amazing guests in the chat room right now. Is Brian Sullivan, also known as Duke, who is the founder and host of World Bigfoot Radio, ladies and gentlemen. And you can definitely check out his YouTube channel if you're not familiar with it. But the guy does an amazing job, and he's as I've said, he'll forget more about Sasquatch than I'll ever be able to learn. He's just one of those guys. It's like you ask him a question, he'll spit out dates, he'll spit out names, and he'll spit out the entire reference of what he's talking about.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah, so, and I'm challenged to remember what the date was yesterday, much less today. I'm like, what?
I know. Yeah, he's just one of those guys. So, but
Jeez.
Very cool. I'm glad they got this cats. That's the Mrs. Portal wants another cat.
Oh God!
But she wants it to be a little kitty and a white little kitty. So we'll have like a yin and yang cooking here. I got a black cat named Anubis.
Your cat.
Huh?
I said I love your cat.
That's not, it's so weird because in my headphones it must sound like you hate my cat. My cat loves you.
That's not what I said, but okay.
Oh, okay. Strange night.
It's weird how that happens.
It is very weird.
No, I don't know why it is. I mean, I'm not very, taken with cats, but cats are very taken with me. They just won't leave me alone.
I know, like my cat hardly snuggles, and then Don comes over and it's like can't get enough
sitting
of
in my
you.
lap.
Maybe he does it because he knows it pisses you off. Hey, watch this. Watch this.
You want to watch him go through the roof? Watch.
Check this out. Check this out. I'm going to turn around on your lap. Hey, that's my butt.
Hey.
See? It's in your face. Yeah.
Puckers on
Yeah.
on my desk. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. He's a
Can you
little.
wipe this off?
My cat's quite aloof. But he's a good cat. He's a good mouser, though. I'll tell you that. So yeah, that's the big reveal tonight. Was that's a hoax, and I don't revel in that kind of stuff, but I really
It's
get
offensive.
perturbed.
It's
Now
offensive.
the question about that one is it an intentional hoax, or is it just unintentional hoax? Like these guys were liquored up on beer and they found a set and they thought it was real and took pictures. I don't know. Now the thing is they don't look at all nervous in those
Right.
photos. They
Yeah.
look like they're just, hey,
They're having a good time.
I'm having a beer. Look, we found this place, but I don't know. It sounds like somebody didn't realize that it was a joke. The person that made the MUFON report doesn't
Right,
realize that it was a joke.
Right.
But I think the people at the location knew
Right.
exactly where they were.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think those people, they came across this and thought, oh no, that's not real. But you know what? Let's send these pictures to our friend and tell him
Right.
it is. And
Well, here's the
then
thing.
the friend went, oh my god.
So that's just it. That's when I started when
Yeah.
we were just recording a bit ago. I was like, well, did they know or not?
Yeah.
But as I look at those pictures, it's like, well, they're way too relaxed. If I saw or came upon a crashed UFO, the last thing I do is whip out the cooler and smile and take selfies. I mean, I'd be trying to take as many pictures as I could, but I'd be like, I'd be nervous as hell. So what if someone crawls out of there, and what if they eat people? You don't know. So I mean, could you be that relaxed and carefree if you just found a crashed UFO? So I really
I'd be
think,
all over it. I'd be getting alien dust all over me. I'd be like, what? What's that?
well, maybe
There's
maybe.
no flashing lights. This can't be high tech.
Well, you know what I mean, though, because if it was really a flying saucer,
Yeah.
what if there was people, like if aliens in there, and what if they don't like people much?
Well,
You
then
know?
you get Independence Day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Welcome to Earth. Excuse me.
you okay there?
Yeah. Cade Shipley asked if a lot of paranormal stuff happens around here in our area.
Well, even here in the studio, a lot happens, but I think so. I think that this area seems to have a really strong energy, and I've heard a lot of things around, but
Right.
I can't say that it's any more than anywhere else.
True.
But see, that's the thing. I don't think that there's some paranormal free areas. I think that there are just paranormal things that happen, and
Right.
it can be anywhere and everywhere.
Right. Well, there's reports that our mall, Bonner County Mall, is haunted, and then my work supposedly has a ghost named Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eddie, are you okay? And then the Coldwater Creek building downtown. I don't remember if somebody mentioned the Canada being haunted, but yeah, there's and then old Elmira town. So just north of me, we went when we went up to Bloom Lake. We went actually kind of through Elmira, but it's supposedly pretty haunted, pretty paranormally.
So I've talked to a lady at the grocery store of all places, and she knows that I do the show and stuff, and she was telling me apparently in what the hell's it called? The town I don't think it's Blanchard, but it's what's next to Coeur d'Alene, but like west of Coeur d'Alene, just a little bit.
Post Falls.
No, it's
Rathdrum.
Rathdrum.
Okay.
There's apparently a demon house in Rathdrum.
What?
Yeah.
I used to live there.
Okay, well,
I never heard of it, but then again, I didn't go into town much.
Right. But apparently, it's pretty widely known and has been researched by some reasonably big names in the paranormal, and has been the subject of a DVD and a book.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. So
I know a really good taco spot in Rathdrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Not that has anything to do with what we're talking about.
Well, we could stop there and get tacos and then go investigate.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that idea. But yeah, apparently this area I don't think is any more than anywhere else.
Yeah,
but
I don't think so.
There is a preponderance of it everywhere. I think
Right.
I don't think that there's any geographic well, I can't say that because I think on ley lines,
Right.
Convergences of ley lines and other, like if there's areas with a high limestone content in the earth
Right.
that is supposed to be a magnifier for that kind of energy and can create vertexes or vortexes of spiritual energy, and those kind of things can happen. I don't know that there's much limestone around here. Is there, Don?
No, there's a lot of granite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's,
Mostly granite, yeah.
but granite, does that have a high quartz content as well, or no?
No, I'm
don't-
going to say no
That's what I
without
was
researching, but
Right.
no, I don't think so.
So in limestone, it's the quartz contents
Okay.
that apparently is
Oh, yeah.
an amplifier for the spiritual energies and stuff. Now, additionally, when you have limestone as well as a lot of streams and rivers and such, that is also supposed to magnify the spiritual energy. So there are some places that seem more prone to it, but I don't know that there's any one place that's more than others. I think that, again, if you're talking like Gettysburg or somewhere like that,
gotcha.
then you're looking
Supercharged.
but that's, obviously due to the fact that there was such an amazing amount of tragedy happening in a short period of time in a very small area. So it's like a magnification times, 1,000. And,
Right.
And so there's a lot of,
Well, there's a lot of blood in that soil.
yeah, exactly.
There is a lot of like when they were putting in the railroads, and doing that, there was a lot of labor, laborers that died and things like that. So yeah, there's, all the way across America, because of that, there's just unknown graveyards and,
Sure.
just people buried everywhere. And even before we got here, the First Nations and things like that, we don't know where all their where their sacred places are because of this, that, or the other
sure.
thing. And
Yep.
how many times do we hear stories about, houses, Amityville, being built on,
Yeah, burial grounds
burial
and
grounds?
such.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's a story that seems to come up. But then again, with thousands and thousands of years of history,
Right.
I imagine there's, probably bodies everywhere, really.
And bodies hitting the floor.
Right. Well, yeah, they're all in the soil, but
Right.
it's one of those things. I think the paranormal is everywhere. I think it's kind of what.
Randall says they moved the headstones and left the bodies under Mr. Portal's house. Glad it's your house, not mine.
Oh, nice. Well, you never know. I don't know what this land was before, but I
Right.
think that this house is apparently one of the first built in the downtown area that I live in. So of Sandpoint, which is the town that we live in.
Oh, wow.
That's what the neighbor told me, is that this is one of the oldest houses. So it does have a history. It does have a presence,
Right.
or two or three, but because at night I'll get up and smell this really old perfume.
Right. Yeah, you've mentioned that.
And
yeah.
it's in different places at different times. And, it's not like it's just an old piece of wood that's kind of over time just releasing a bit of the scent. I mean,
Right.
that can certainly be something to consider when you're catching weird scents, is that if there's a variable in heat or humidity,
Right.
old wood will release, some of the oils trapped in it, and,
Right.
and that can be an account for some of the strange scents that can pop up. But as this happens in different places in the house, I don't believe that that's the case. And
You think something's roaming from spot to spot,
Yeah, I think
carrying
so.
that scent with them.
I do, yeah. And I
Well,
think
they
that's
say that's your most powerful,
sense.
sense.
Yeah. It's got to be among them. But yeah, it's really a cool thing. Again, I don't think it's anything dark or
Right,
malevolent at all.
right.
It's just here, and it doesn't bother me.
Well, with as much as you smudge, it's not going away.
The thing is that honest to God, I don't smudge that often.
Well, but
I've
you've
probably only
smudged quite a
smudged
few times.
four
though, but-
times since I've lived in this house for 4 years now.
Yeah, but you did it right when before we moved the studio.
Yeah.
And I was sitting right there, and you smudged me. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, no, that's
but I mean,
that's
but
an
it's
important
been
part of it.
It's been yeah, smudge everything.
Right. No,
But my
I'm
point
serious.
is that this possible entity was here before that, so you're not chasing this one out. It's not going anywhere. Now the question is when you're smudging, what is your intent as you're smudging? Are you welcoming and smudging out the bad one, or are you welcoming the good ones and smudging out the bad ones? Does that work that way?
Well, I think when I do it with the intention that anything of dark and malevolent nature needs to leave this house right away. That it's not welcome here. It cannot stay in this in this home.
In this area, yeah.
Right.
So, but that means that does that by extension mean that the good,
I
the
do
good,
also
benevolent.
say I do also say if you're loving and kind and nurturing and warm and protective, you're welcome to stay.
Okay.
So I mean, I always do it with that intent when I'm going through.
Right.
That I think you have to magnify it with your will. So like sage by itself is not, it has an ability just by virtue of it being sage. But it like anything, it becomes so much more magnified by your intention. And ladies and gentlemen, energy follows intention. So whether it's by prayer or by meditation or by whatever, it could be singing, it could be talking, or whatever. If you're pushing your energy into it, it becomes powerful. And so I just consider the sage as it burns becomes that much more powerful with my energy imbued into it. So that's always my intention. And
Sure.
And for the most part, I have not. I can say I haven't had anything
Right.
come back that I felt was dark when I've done it. That doesn't mean something else dark won't find its way there eventually. I mean, the sage doesn't. The smoke is really just a temporary thing.
Soap.
Huh?
Soap.
Soap.
Soap is only good until you wash it away.
Oh yeah, right. I said sage though, right?
Right, but I
Oh,
was
okay.
using soap,
All right.
sage.
Yeah.
Sage is
I
only
got-
good while the scent is still in the air.
That's right. Like my deodorant, it's only good for a few hours.
And
No,
then
but
I
that's,
sweat like a freaking pig.
but that's why you use sage
Right.
as a method to push something out.
Right.
You bind with salt and other methods to keep it out. Or just by charging the energy in the home with your love and your will that nothing dark can enter. So there's many different modalities of doing this, and the portal will never be an instruction manual for anybody.
No, yeah.
I just don't, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want someone to try something and not have
The
it work.
FDA has not approved these claims.
Yeah, exactly.
Or anybody
Yeah.
for that matter.
Yeah. I mean, it works for me, and what I do works for me, but I don't know
Right.
if it'll work for everybody else.
Right.
It's just, anything with this stuff is just, it's all about the individual.
Right.
So, and for example, your religion is as powerful
As
your
put faith
passion in
yeah,
it, as
sure.
your faith.
Yeah.
And in biblical sense, Jesus talked about that all the time. And, in other religions, they talk about the faith is, is the magnifier. So it's all the same. And it's just energy following intention.
Sure.
So those are my thoughts on the subject. Not that they have to be anybody else's, but since I get the microphone, you get to hear them.
Digger Dog says Sasquatches, because, we were talking about quartz and things like that.
Yes.
Digger Dog says Sasquatches are interested in quartz.
Yeah, that's what we've heard. I heard that from Duke first.
Huh.
And he's talked about that quite a bit. Now, again, they're an ancient being. I'm not to imply that each Sasquatch is necessarily ancient. I don't know how old they are, but I'm just saying it's an ancient tribe.
Right.
I mean, it really is. These are not just animals. I don't believe they are.
Duke says he finds a lot of Bigfoot signs in quartz areas with quartz.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what he
crazy.
shared with me too. And it's really cool. I think that's incredibly powerful. I mean, there are many of us that are really enamored with quartz and the properties of quartz, and there's no reason to believe that if these people of the forest, these Bigfoot, and I'm saying people because I don't really know how. I don't want to say creature or being,
Right.
or I guess being is good, but not beast or animal. I think they're too intelligent for that, but they seem to have wisdom about them because they're clearly pretty intelligent.
Right.
So
They're smart enough to stay the hell away from us. Smart enough.
right, and so I think they probably do, and many First Nations tribes have a history of communication with these beings,
Right.
and even trade in some isolated incidents that there are legends of them trading and sharing of things or
Right.
or whatever. So there's no reason to believe that they also wouldn't have a spirituality. I don't think, but you never know.
Well, it's reasonable, but I would think I would think they would be more nature kind of, well, obviously nature kind of spirits, in that sense. But,
Oh, well, nature, spirituality, sure.
Yeah.
And I don't, I don't know that they have like a pantheon or a concept of God or anything like that. I don't know.
well, Duke
But-
has mentioned that they have a concept of hierarchy, so
Right.
who knows?
Yeah, maybe their great chief is, the god or whatever you say. I don't know. Question, Don, or anyone else off topic? Has anyone heard from?
Glag. They're talking about, or she's talking about
Kevin Lang?
Kevin Lang, yeah.
Yeah, actually, he's doing better. He hasn't gone back yet, as I know, but he actually had a bout of health issues
yeah.
that he was working through for a while. But as I heard, he's doing well,
Yeah.
and is getting back on his feet. So our love and support goes out to him as he continues his journey.
Yep.
But we are definitely pulling for him.
Yeah, and we definitely got to get him back on the show too, because
Yes.
we've talked to him twice, but we really haven't talked to him. We've
Well-
had conversations about these things, but we really haven't dug into the story of him and Gleg yet.
Right.
We
Well,
still
I
got
mean,
so much.
yeah, we basically just touched the introduction,
Right.
and then the second time around, we ended up talking more about generalities. But quite honestly, I don't know how much he wants to discuss, and
Right.
and really, he's put it all out there on World Bigfoot Radio,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear the full story of his meeting and encountering and his experiences with
Right.
this amazing being, then check out World Bigfoot Radio, and I think it's episode 32 as where
30.
it begins.
Yeah, 31. Yeah.
31. Okay.
Right.
So it starts there and goes through several episodes, and quite honestly, when we have him on, I don't want him to have to just regurgitate the same stuff, because that's already out there. Duke already did that. So
Hey, Stacy C just popped in
oh my
into
God,
chat. Hi.
Irma Gerd.
Irma Gerb. How was wherever you went? I'm jealous. That's why I can't remember.
Wherever it was warmer than here.
Apparently it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it looked like it from the pictures I did see. It looked like it was nice. And congratulations.
Yes.
By the way,
Yep.
that's ladies and gentlemen, the Stacy that just popped into the chat room is a long time
listener.
friend of the show, and she just was recently married. So
Yay.
congratulations, and hope everything's wonderful. So, but yeah, the whole Bigfoot thing is absolutely fascinating, and I don't know. I'm hoping, Don, we get out in the field a little bit this year.
God, yeah.
We got a lot of learning and exploring to do.
Yes, we do.
And we got to make it over to Montana to see Duke.
We do.
The Duke.
The Duke.
The Duke is going to put up with us for a while, whether he likes it or not.
We got to camp out on my corner because we had James. Remember the email from 6-8 months ago? It
Yes.
was longer than that.
I actually read it again on one of the recordings I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yep.
But that's just literally right down the road from my house. I've got to go check that out.
Yeah, but it's it's going to be an all-nighter.
Yeah, well, we'll
A cooler and some sleeping bags, and
I don't know about that.
I said bags.
I'm an Idaho boy, but I'm not a camping dude.
So we're just going to sit in the truck.
Sleep in the pickup.
Oh, yeah.
Recline the seat back. Have cops stop every couple hours. You guys okay?
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing? Hey, don't make me sign
License
my
and
life in there.
registration. 5 times a night. License and registration.
You've been here twice already. You know who we are.
Yeah. But you never know.
Ooh, Julia's got a pop-up trailer. Maybe we could borrow that. A pop-up camper. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Does
things
it
we
have a
want to do with
microwave
the
and a
show.
TV and hi-fi, Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's
Well,
camping.
hi-fi
Don.
would be good too.
That there's camping.
It is. That's my brand.
All right, so let's continue on here. Let's start covering more stuff. What do we got next?
Oh, I'm mad at Renee. Wow, what'd you do to get that picture up there? That advertisement right there.
Oh, I don't know. It's what the hell is Ashley Madison?
Don't say that.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know it. I don't.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
no different from saying Kmart or something. I mean,
Well, but
I
the
don't know.
connotation. But anyhow, next. What's the
is
story?
is that racy? Really?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay. I've never heard of it before. I don't know what it is. It just popped up here.
Oh, Loria road trip. That is in the cards someday.
Yeah, we'd love to. More likes. Thanks, Duke. I appreciate the the like farming going on out there. It's always amazing. The email is what at Paranormal Portal? What does she say? Email, Julia.
Paranormal Portal Radio at gmail.com. Is that what you're asking about?
Well, Julia knows it though.
She should.
Yeah, so I don't know. But that is the email for the show.
Renee Harvey says, by the way, nice to see you. A new name to me.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I believe one followed me in the woods and it tried to take my pet goat.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, that would be like a snack bar.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they are.
Is that an offering?
Right. I mean, I think they try to avoid that kind of stuff, around ranches and farms and stuff, because I think they know that if their livestock turns up missing, then people start coming into the woods, and I don't think they necessarily want that, so they avoid that at all costs. But if one happened to walk by, it's like Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, no. Hey, thanks for bringing lunch. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that was nice of them to bring that goat for us. Wow. And so that is really crazy. I think you're probably right. You were basically dragging lunch meat through the dog kennel,
Yeah, it's a good possibility. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good way to get him to play with you, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're okay. What? Oh, you're serious? That's what that is?
Yes.
Well, how the hell is that on my screen?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I'm not farming for any hookups.
He's not in the market.
Not currently, anyway. The missus is still putting up with me, so I got that going for me. But are you serious? That's what it's for?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. It was a huge scandal about maybe a year ago. Somebody got caught on that website and shenanigans ensued.
I've never even heard of that before. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I thought it was just a clothing brand or something. I'm like, what the hell is that?
It's a disc clothing brand.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea why that's on my screen, but that makes it kind of really awkward.
Hey, did you notice we have 50 people watching us right now?
Oh, hey. Wow. Great number.
You know what really sucks?
The fact that there's not enough likes.
There's only 23 likes. It's not even half.
Well, maybe 27 of them don't like what they're doing. What we're doing.
Might be true, but we still love you, all 27 of you, for being here.
Oh, we love everybody that comes in the door. That's awesome. Huh.
Wow. What else you got for us?
Now this one's kind of wild. This is a story. I hope it's not a video, but I want to see what it is. It says. And this is coming from Mysterious Universe, ladies and gentlemen. It says, woman saved from ghostly torture by psychic rescue squad. Wow, a psychic rescue squad.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. It said most ghost stories. Wow. It's like I stroked out there quick.
Gory. Most gories.
Sorry about that. Most ghost stories don't begin well. A poor human suffers an untimely and often unpleasant death. Most ghost stories don't end well either. One or more living humans are haunted, tormented, or worse by the ghost. That appears to be the case with one Emily Sparks of the village of Riddle in Chelmsford, Essex, England. An experienced psychic, she was not concerned when she moved into a flat in 2011, a flat with a ghost-inducing past. However, the powers of this ghost were far stronger than anything she'd been exposed to before. And she would eventually need the help of a psychic rescue squad.
Wow.
A what? It says a what? In my flat, a lady tragically passed away in my bathroom and wasn't found for several days. Ooh, that's tough.
Ooh.
So previous tenants before me moved out, it says, previous tenants before me moved out within a short time without a true explanation as to why they wanted to move to another facility. The 84-year-old Emily told Essex Live she dealt with the unusual doors opening and closing and televisions turning on and off until June 2013, when a spirit wearing a mustard cardigan with a tweed skirt appeared and eventually began to attack her.
Oh!
Yikes. Physically.
I was
physically.
Cardigan and plaid skirt, and I was like, woohoo!
After her own efforts to deal with the ghost failed, an exorcist came in and claimed to have removed it. She fooled us all. The attacks on my bed or on my head continued. She would clout. What's clout? She would clout my right ear when I slept, which caused me severe earache.
I bet.
Is that where you like clap an ear or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
Clouting is like beating about the head and face, or beaten in
Just being beaten about.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The ghostly physical abuse worsened, as did the mental and financial abuse. The toilet flushed on its own for several hours at a time, until February when Emily moved out of the flat and into a hotel. While many doubted her story, her neighbor also saw the ghost, and her doctor was concerned because Emily was healthy in all other respects. That's when a friend told her about the services offered by a local psychic rescue squad. It says, have you experienced any of the following? Lights being moved with no apparent cause, or things being moved with no apparent cause, light switches and other electronical equipment being turned on and off, seeing someone crossing the room and disappearing through a door or a wall, a child talking and playing with a non-existent playmate, feeling that someone is watching you, hairs on the back of your neck standing out, a sudden coldness surrounding you, people suddenly being physically harmed, voices telling you to do things you would not normally do, suddenly feeling afraid for no reason, unpleasant, out-of-character thoughts coming into your mind. If you can say yes to any of the above, you do need professional help from the team at Psychic Rescue.
Wow.
Such disturbances do not go away of their own accord. So apparently she called them, and they came over, and we do not carry out incantations or rituals. No, in fact, nothing dramatic at all takes place. A cleansing can sometimes be a peaceful and moving experience. It is carried out by members who are able to see and talk to the spirit or ghosts and causing the disturbance, and usually all that is required is persuasion. The website has a lot of satisfied customers, apparently, which is good. I prayed for a miracle, and at 5 p.m., he rang me and said, "It's over for you now." She is now where she should be. A group of enlightened minds came together and were able to collectively connect to the spirit's mind, and this is the method they used, was successful in taking her back to the other side.
Wow. And Dee says, "Wow, that sounds like us." Like,
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
Too.
Her and Sean and Joel.
And Deb.
Others.
Yeah.
Yep. So was Emily's psychic rescue covered by insurance? That's a silly question. That's a silly question. This is England. Actually, there doesn't appear to be any cost whatsoever for the services. Just you guys, Dee. Yeah, excellent. The Glade Foundation is a registered charity.
Hey, Wes, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, nice, Mr. Germer.
He says he'll call you later.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic.
I'll be looking forward to it, brother. Great to hear from you, and thanks for coming in. It talked about the insurance, and the Glade Foundation is a registered charity, and the only mention of money is a donations tab on the website contact page. So very cool.
Yes.
I think that's wonderful. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, if Dee is right, her and Sean and Joel and Deb Varner all have extended themselves to help anybody that is dealing with a tough paranormal experience. And the thing is that those kind of things are absolutely scary, and they largely make people feel incredibly isolated, because I think a lot of these things happen and nobody will ever know about it because the people can't bring themselves to talk about it.
Right.
They just can't. They can't talk about it. They can't let it, they don't know how to bridge that gap and how to explain it.
Right.
And most people think if I talk about ghosts, they're going to get me a tinfoil hat, or they're going to want me to go see my doctor in a hurry.
Could you go get fitted for a hat, please?
Yeah, just go in the kitchen drawer. We got a whole roll of them. But yeah, I mean it's tough because if I don't think a lot of people have someone to reach out to.
Yeah. Or they don't know how, or they're embarrassed.
Right.
Embarrassed
exactly.
is the big one. Or, you shouldn't be embarrassed about that. I mean, but here I am.
Well, it's tough. I mean, let's say, for instance, you didn't have this community that we formed.
Right.
Would you, if you were haunted, go tell people at your work?
No, I'd probably just ignore it. Go away.
Thank you. I rest my case, Your
I
Honor.
would probably just ignore it. I mean,
Yeah, well,
because I mean,
but could you? I mean, what if it got worse?
Well, if it
What
got
if-
worse, I would certainly have to look at something else.
Right.
You know, but I mean, honestly, I mean, yeah, of course. But I mean, of course, if things are flying and knives are flying around my kitchen and plates are breaking on the floor and I'm flying everywhere, yeah, I'm gonna definitely say, something to someone. I mean,
Ooh,
but
in, get in, 9, get away then. That's the helicopter going over. I just had to do the Pink Floyd thing. I just honestly,
I was
that
wondering
came,
why you were doing
that came into my head right away. It's like, oh, this is the wall. Sorry, my favorite band of all time is Pink Floyd. Like bar none. I mean, there's a lot of close seconds, but Pink Floyd.
So I came over earlier today. We jumped in the paranormal pickup,
Yeah.
and I fired it up, and Brent's sitting there, and I go, "Oh, that's funny. They're playing Run Like Hell from Pink Floyd." I'm like, "What is this telling me?"
That's my jams. That's all I'm saying. Those are my jams.
But
So
yeah.
now, what was that trivia thing that you
Oh
mentioned?
yeah. There was a radio
Let's
station
do
a long
let's
time
do
ago.
a poll.
Yeah,
here.
okay.
And
So
and at the end of the show, we'll give you guys the answer.
yeah, and shout it out in chat if you know it, or you could possibly give us a call. But how many times in the song "Run Like Hell" do they say "Run Like Hell"?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to see your answers in the chat. How many times they say "Run Like Hell" in the song "Run Like Hell" by Pink Floyd on the Wall album? So, if you have an answer, let us know in the chat, and we will let you know. Or you can call in and tell if you want. But so MCAT says 17 right off the bat. Yeah, it's Pink Floyd.
Three. Duck Sauce
okay.
says 3.
Oh, Duke
Brian says none. Stacy says none.
This is getting
okay.
interesting.
Wow.
Maybe we'll. Well, when do you want to give the answer?
Well, you know what? Let's see how if anybody else tips
All right.
their. You know what though? Because this isn't fair. Because everybody can just Google it.
Okay, so go ahead and now that we have a few samplings of our audience answers, how many times now?
The answer is absolutely not once. They say "run" about 4 million times, but they don't ever say "run like hell."
Boom, there it is, and a special congratulations to Duke and Stacy,
Woohoo!
who did answer correctly, and you.
Julia says I Googled it.
Aha! Don's Google senses were tingling.
My
He
Google
knew. In the age of the internets, we know that Google
Too
is
much
always
information.
yeah, but cool nonetheless. Very cool. So that's a good piece of trivia.
Yes,
and a whole
Stacy,
bunch
you are good, but we'll leave that for your husband. Anyhow, what's next?
Whoa! And now we're going right to the drain, folks.
Actually,
Welcome to the
Madison-
Paranormal Portal Drain, featuring Don Longbeard.
As I pull a swig out of the jug.
Yeah, well, I can't even say it. God. Oh, it's so tough being family friendly. Oh man.
I seem to be able to do it.
Yeah. I have integrity though.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's a little bit of a crippling effect. But
Duke
yeah.
says he's a rock critic. Yes, that's not the
That's
same
true.
thing as
That's
an
true.
aficionado.
No, he is. He actually did some.
Oh, he actually does like
yeah. Duke was actually did that for his real gig in life. He
oh, wow.
He reviewed albums and stuff, and
Good.
Yep.
I accept all unwanted vinyl.
It's just
I do. Yeah.
Don's fishing. So if anybody has an unused vinyl, and that includes apparently clothing. And
I didn't mean like pleather vinyl. Oh, goodness.
Don's basement needs an upgrade. That's all I'm saying. Boom.
Anything doom metal will fit.
Thank you. Yeah, I did manage to squeeze in a little bit there.
Oh, well, there you go. William says flying purple people eaters stuck in his head now.
Ooh, that was my my team, the Vikings. That was my team back in Minnesota.
Oh, gotcha.
I had to quit watching them though, ladies and gentlemen, because they broke my heart too many times, way too many times. But
Actually, hacker, I can make that happen. Actually, I know how. Maybe a Speedo as well.
Not a Speedo. And I'm frowning on the portal thong as well.
I
So
wasn't gonna say it. All right.
I'm frowning that on the swag shop. We definitely probably won't be offering a portal thong anytime
And they're
soon.
very, very
And
expensive.
quite honestly, folks, you can't fit that logo on a thong.
We're too big for that.
Wow. What can I talk about now?
I don't know.
That
I
isn't
don't
this. No.
We has the technology. We can rebuild it.
I can't believe that ad is on my computer.
That's fun.
That really disturbs me. It's like, how in the hell? I'm gonna definitely have to virus scan here. I don't know what's going on, but that's. I mean, honestly, dude,
Apparently, I'm being sent to my corner.
I'm not doing. I'm not trolling for hookups that I know of.
Oh, are you gonna read about those spheres?
I can, sure.
Those spheres are right there. Yeah, those.
Oh, yeah.
There's spheres all over the world, but I'm not sure.
Well,
about
now this is
one,
from Florida. So what
yeah.
are they saying about this?
I don't know.
So the mysterious otherworldly sphere of Florida. So let's see. Every once in a while, something is dug up or discovered rather, somewhere that seems to defy all attempts to understand it. These anomalous objects are poked, prodded, and studied, yet refuse to give up their answers, often sparking talk of aliens and extraterrestrial intelligences. One very well-known account of such an object was found by chance.
Oh, right.
Oh, you know this?
Well, it's coming back to me. Oh, yeah.
In the U.S. state of Florida, by an unsuspecting family, a perfect sphere with various unusual properties. It has gone on to fuel talk of all manner of UFO theories and conspiracy rumors and remains an enigma to this very day. Wow. So it says, and this is an article from Mysterious Universe as well, so I just want to give credit where credit is due. One very intriguing and rather well-known artifact of possible alien origin was discovered on March 26, 1974. A raging brush fire had swept through an 88-acre property of the Bertz family, B-E-R-T-Z, on Fort George Island, Florida, leaving a vast swath of burnt and blackened land behind. As Antoine, is that Antoine? Yeah. And Jerry Bertz accompanied their 21-year-old son, Terry. They surveyed the damage, and they came through a grove of trees that had been completely incinerated by the fire, and yet sitting there in the middle of what would have been an inferno was a metallic sphere of some sort, approximately the size of a bowling ball, shining there in the sunlight and seemingly untouched and not affected by the fire that had torn through. In fact, was found to be completely smooth and polished. Mm-hmm. And without a single blemish upon it except for a small triangular shape, carefully etched within the metal, and it was apparently without any scratch or scorch mark on it. Wow. So what did they say, though? It was an incredibly odd thing to see sitting there in all shiny and polished in the middle of the charred and scorched earth, and the baffled family tried to figure out what it could have possibly be. They considered that it may have been a downed satellite or something that had been dropped from a plane, but then why was there no sign of damage on it at all? And then they came to the conclusion that it was an old relic cannonball from some forgotten battle in the centuries past, but the lack of any rust or signs of age didn't seem to fit. Curious, they loaded it into their truck and hauled it back to their home to take a better look, and this is when things would get even more bizarre. Oh, wow. Is that a photo of it?
I think that's a rendition.
Okay, so it looks...
An artist's rendition.
So the odd sphere was soon found to have some very peculiar properties. Mm-hmm. The first clue was then to this was when Terry was in the same room as the sphere one day while practicing the guitar. As he played, he became aware that the metal sphere seemed to be reacting somehow to the music, throbbing in tune to the beat and emitting a vibrating sound not unlike a tuning fork. Even when the sound stopped, the family dog refused to go anywhere near it, suggesting that they were still subaudible sounds emanating from within it. They decided to keep a closer eye on the sphere and soon noticed that it seemed to occasionally emit these thrumming hums all on its own. Wow, is that wild? And that it was more active on sunny days, leading them to think that it was somehow solar powered. They also accidentally discovered that it could roll around on its own and guide itself, often turning around to make its way back to whoever pushed it, and able to roll on without aid for long periods of time. It seemed to react to different situations and almost have a mind of its own, leaving the whole family and anyone they showed it to in absolute awe. This was increasingly obviously no 16th century cannonball. Yeah, that's like the first smart missile.
Well, and they would be
joke.
cast iron.
That was funny to me.
Sorry, they would be made of cast iron as well. They wouldn't
Right.
be shiny and silver.
Sure, they would have been black from day one, probably, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, considering that the Burt's family would also supposedly often show off the sphere to family and neighbors, it is perhaps no surprise that word began to get out of their strange properties. Journalists began showing up to snoop around. Those bastards. No, I'm just kidding.
Dirty paparazzi.
And some of them were able to see some of the phenomena for themselves. One was a photographer from the Jacksonville Journal who went to the residence and apparently saw the mysterious sphere in action, writing of it. He said, "It rolled a ways, then stopped. So what?" She said, "Just wait a minute." It turned by itself and rolled to the right about 4 feet. It stopped. Then it turned again and rolled to the left about 8 feet and made a big arc and came right back to my feet.
Why would a sphere need to turn?
I don't know. Apparently there's a forward and a backwards on this sphere. I don't know.
Well, there's a forwards and backwards, but she said it turned, which implies that it stayed where it was and turned left or right. Why? It can just roll the way it needs to go. Why would it turn?
I don't know.
Huh?
It's not my ball. I don't know.
Not my ball, not my game.
Exactly. I'm just reporting here, Don. Come on. I can't answer these questions.
Just to let you know, my MCAT's on the phone.
Well, I don't think we're going to solve the mystery of the sphere.
Nope,
but
I don't think so either.
I just want to get to, I'm not saying this thing didn't come from outer space because I've never seen it. All I'm saying is that the physical description of it matches exactly the type of ball we have in stock. From where? Where did this come from?
I don't know about that in stock.
Yeah, I should have read the paragraph before that, but apparently somebody's saying it could be terrestrial. Others say the analysis done would have immediately determined whether it was man-made or not, but that they failed to conclusively come to this conclusion, suggesting it was something else, perhaps something alien in origin. Yet looking through the Navy records on the case, it seems this may have been exaggerated somewhat by the media, as one Navy spokesman is on record having said of the ball's purported strange ability to move on its own, "I believe it's because of the construction of the house. It's old and has uneven stone floors, and the ball is almost perfectly balanced. And it takes just a little indentation to make it move or change direction." Well, that's a good point too. I mean, you can't negate that kind of thinking.
Then why because later in the story it'll say that they took it to a school or somewhere, a school tech, science school, something, and it was never returned.
Oh, okay. Well,
it was never returned.
Now that's creepy. That's some rottenness right there. But I guess all the great mysteries end that way. But let's get to our call and see what's going on with Mr. MCAT.
Mr. MCAT.
Mr. MCAT, you're on the horn with us live here on the portal. Welcome to the show, sir.
Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Use that word lightly.
We are good, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah. So I got a request for some paranormal stories. So ask and I shall deliver.
Well, please do.
By all means, sir.
So I got a couple about some EVPs that we've collected with the team. Sometimes it's reactive, where it's somebody stubs their toe and you get an EVP and says, "Oh, I bet that hurt." And sometimes they don't have any meaning at all, and sometimes it might be later on after you review everything with the client. So we did this investigation, and it was an older couple in their home. And we picked up this EVP. It was a female that said, "Touch, touch."
Ooh.
Couldn't make heads or tails of it. We didn't know what it meant. So at the end of the investigation. We go to the client's home and we review everything that we find, and we give them all the data that we have accumulated.
Mm-hmm.
And so we play this EVP for them. And immediately, the lady that was there started crying, because that was how her and her mother communicated over the phone.
Huh.
Wow.
They would say touch, touch to each other.
Mm.
And so that was, she understood what it was right away.
Wow.
Very cool. So it was a very personalized message, as it turned out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was. And then the other one was in a condo that supposedly had a murder happen in.
Oh.
And we hadn't even done the investigation. We were doing a walkthrough, so we're interviewing with the client. We picked up this EVP, and it's 3 people. It's 2 females and a male.
Uh-huh.
And the first female says, "It's birthday." Male says, "Your birthday."
Wow.
Second female says, 16th birthday.
Oh.
Wow.
And so we're listening to this. We're like, what does that have to do with anything? So a lady, while we're doing the investigation, a lady knocks on the door. And she was like, well, I used to live here, and, what's going on here? And we're trying to tell her, well, that, we're an investigative team. We do paranormal research. And she said, well, it was my father that was murdered here.
Oh.
And I didn't know about it because I was at school, and he was supposed to pick me up because it was my 16th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Wow. What a horrible time for something like that to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's incredible.
So sometimes there's some real meaning behind somebody. Sometimes there's nothing and it's just random. But yeah, sometimes there's some really profound meaning behind them.
Wow.
That's
horrible.
But it's really cool though,
Yeah,
because the messages can come through, and again, I think that I think especially in those cases where this makes sense,
Yeah.
then it's incredibly healing. I think that anytime a communication can be relayed from beyond,
Right.
that's so powerful.
So, hey, MCAT, when this lady came up and you showed her, or did you play her the EVP, what it said, and what was her reaction?
It was she was explaining that why she was there, and we were kind of like, hey, you got to listen to something.
Uh-huh.
And it was, she was crying at the end.
Oh,
She
no
was very
doubt.
emotional.
Wow. But that's kind of cool, I mean, in a sense, because, it's the, it leaves the question, who are the 2 females? But it was nice to hear that it was possibly her father, saying it's your birthday, or So that's kind of, wow.
So William Bennett is saying, question, why did they say touch, touch? And I what I took from it, and I don't know, MCAT, if you know for sure, but I was thinking that it's just kind of like hug, hug, kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It was a way for them to sign off because they didn't live close to each other.
Right. Yeah.
So at the end of the conversation, they would just say touch, touch.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I took from it as well. So, yeah, they are very powerful stories. Very, very cool. Got any more?
Just those 2 for right now.
Okay, you're saving them. All right, I appreciate that.
He's using them economically.
He's playing the angles here. This is good. He's an old pro.
There you go. Excellent. Thanks, MCAT.
That's awesome, brother. Thanks so much for being a part of the show.
You bet, you guys. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, we'll
All
talk
right.
later.
See you now.
That's kind of cool.
That's all kinds of cool. And and that's really neat because you often hear about those weird EVPs that don't seem to have any kind of relevance, but perhaps if the right person hears it,
Right.
it means the world.
Maybe that's the explanation. Yeah, it's where you
Right.
get your explanation from.
Right.
Yeah.
It just goes from a nonsense story into, wow, that's incredibly powerful.
Right.
In just that one person getting that message.
Right.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Thank you, MCAT. I appreciate that.
Hey, Renee Harvey in the chat says, are NDEs considered to be paranormal?
NDEs, near-death experiences.
Yes.
I think in the fact that they are a witnessed experience
Okay.
of whatever lies beyond this life, yes. That in and of itself is clearly a paranormal thing because it's beyond the normal. It's a supernatural kind of experience.
Right.
But are they necessarily paranormal by what we understand paranormal to be? No, I think it's just a natural part of our journey. And the people that have the NDEs, they just get to come back and tell us about it.
Oh.
Whereas the rest of the people don't get to come back and tell us about it. They
Right.
just go. But I think, if anything, I think that they're just powerful reminders that there is more. And, it's incredibly cool. And I want to say a special thank you to Lord Vader for those amazing couches, brother.
He just popped in, too.
I know. I saw that. I know the power of the dark side now. They're amazing. But thanks, brother. I appreciate it. So eating my mother-in-law's food is paranormal.
Maybe what happens afterwards is paranormal.
I know. I've exercised some demons in the loo. That's all I'm gonna say. There's things I've put down the tube that could not have been natural. I don't know how anything I ate turned into that, but
Oh, my goodness.
I'm just saying, it is paranormal. But that's how it is.
Hey, guess who's on the phone?
Oh, let's find out. Let's find out if it's not our good friend, Miss Diane Swiger, joining us. Hi, Miss Diane Swiger. How are you?
Well, it is your good friend.
I know. It's
Hi.
it's almost like I was
I'm
psychic.
a near-death experiencer.
I know you are. That's right.
Turn down your radio, please.
Yeah, turn down your volume in the background, will you?
Oh, the background. Oh, sorry. Hang on.
I'm hearing it twice.
Radio 101. If you call, turn down your listening volume. All right.
Okay, it was so nice you heard it twice. Yeah. Oh, no. You're right. Boy, and I took some broadcasting school when it came to that, right? So I did, literally.
Oh,
But, yeah. Near-death experiencer, if you have questions about that, I have done a lot of research on that.
Right.
yeah, I have as well. That's a subject
There
that I was very
is a
passionate
group
about.
on Facebook called Near-Death Experiences Bring Us Together that I'm a mod for sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Very cool.
or have been in the past. I don't know if they still have me on as that. But if you have questions, you can look at that site.
Mm-hmm.
And there really are quite a lot of people. Well, and I think part of it is we are able to revive people better than ever now.
Yeah,
Right.
that's very
So
true.
we're going to be a lot more experiencers.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
now, I'm sorry.
Ed, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, but now, is this part of the physical release of the soul, or in your opinion, and in just a brief opinion, we love you, D, is an NDE paranormal, and if it is, in what sense? What was yours? Would you consider yours paranormal?
As they are multiple choice question, Don.
Well, I gave you a couple. Is it paranormal or not? That's two questions. That's multiple choice.
True or false?
True or false? It's not true or false. Actually, it depends on how you look at it. I suppose to most people it would be considered paranormal, since people don't normally come back from death.
True. Very true.
On the other hand, it is, to me, probably more. Well, it is normal also, though, because it is something that happens
It's something that
to
happens.
people when they are near death. So I don't know how to answer that. It's a trick question.
Well, that's my job.
Probably both.
Okay.
Probably both. That's fair enough.
It's paranormal. That's my no. It's I would guess it would be paranormal because it's outside of the range of
Right.
what most people would experience or understand. Most people don't have that kind of an experience.
Right.
So there you go.
There you go. So, yeah. See, it was
I was
painless, wasn't
terribly concise then. See, happens sometimes.
it? Wow.
I wanted to say I got some designs. I'm also an artist. Did you ever notice I'm a Renaissance woman? I have all of this experience.
I think we all are, though.
Experiences. Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I love this crowd. I love you guys. Okay.
We love you too, Dee.
I have some designs for the Paranormal Portal gear. So I would kind of like to send you. So just letting you know that may be coming your way fairly soon for you to peruse over and see if you want to do it. But like I said, near-death experiences. There are people who have tried to say, and I just want to say this. There are people that try to say, argue, this is what happens when you crack your head open and light gets in and you sense that there's light and blah, 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 blah. And yet, and I've had people like hit me with this, oh, well, these are the things you experience as your brain is shutting down and you're, that is kind of a weird explanation because it's another one where they seem to be grabbing so far, like really reaching for an explanation that fits in their paradigm.
Yeah.
Beyond, because God only knows they don't want to say maybe our consciousness is more than just our body.
Right.
Sure.
So they come up with all of this other possibilities of, that's just what happens when this happens, and then it's a chemical process, and you just think it's happening, and
right.
You just think this place is happening. Period. We've now got very, very intelligent people saying this is a simulation. Guess what? Everything is all in your head, Petunia.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, if we
Am
manifest
I right?
yeah, I believe we are. I think we manifest our reality quite literally and from a very fundamental level, and certainly that would be a part of it, sure, that we are manifesting our experience, not just, cosmetically and like, well, I make choices, therefore I'm manifesting my reality. It's more profound than that. I think that we on some level are actually very potent and powerful creator beings. It's just we've forgotten how we do it.
And then some of us remember, and we're thought of as being kind of weird.
Well, that's
that's
but now there was a comment from Lori Babineau in the chat, and she said that a lot of times people return from NDEs with new spiritual ability.
Yeah.
And that was certainly the case for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because this is also why earlier times, earlier peoples, and they still do this at various places throughout the world, would give people an experience with some kind of a hallucinogenic substance. Mm-hmm. What they used to call power substances was to show them that there was a reality outside of the normal reality.
Right.
Right.
Because once you see that there is something more to reality than just the 3D, then that changes you.
Right.
But with a near-death experience, there can be even more than that. With a near-death experience, sometimes, like in my case, what I think happened, what seems to have happened, is that I am either another person or a whole nother version of me, because I was still an artist, and I was still had a lot of the same skills, but it came out differently from then on.
Yeah.
I even had different, like at one point before that I would get jittery from drinking coffee, and then I didn't. Mm-hmm. After that, I haven't had the jitters from coffee since then. Just all kinds of weird things. My art suddenly changed. My things I knew, there came flooding into my head that didn't come before, and I started what I would call my shamanic journey in earnest then.
Wow.
So, these things sometimes are, and they're contractual. when this happens, you contracted to do that. It was a choice. It was an agreement.
Huh.
So that's what I can tell you about that. So if you had an NDE, chances are you agreed to that beforehand. And there was a reason you did that. And so it's not generally, in my experience, in my opinion, considered a random thing, really, even though it would seem random. And in my case, I had a dream exactly of what was going to happen before it happened to me. So there you go.
Wow.
That's very profound. Absolutely. I appreciate you sharing that with us again.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's no small thing to have made that journey and made it back, and then, you know, be able to share that. That's so powerful.
And the rest of the tools that you were given on the way back, you know? Yeah.
Now you were...
That was really interesting, because if you would have told me at the beginning, it's like you're going to be doing that, and actually somebody did, and I'm like, oh, hell no. And it's like, I don't want to do that. That's scary.
Right. Well,
that's scary.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's like, well, yeah, but that's what I was destined to come here and do. I guess that's probably why I came. And when I asked 3 different times what my purpose here was. Why in the heck am I here? And the first time I got to learn, and so I learned. And then the second time, when I felt a shift, I asked again, and the answer was to teach. So I taught for a while, and then I felt the energy shift again, and I said, okay, what is my purpose now?
Right.
And it was to free the slaves.
right.
That's all I heard. Free the slaves.
That's pretty good. That's a good mission to have.
Make of that what you will. Is this Sparta? I don't know.
Well, I think that, that's probably maybe more symbolic in that, we're all slaves to our own ignorance.
Right.
And, we buy into the illusions and we're slaves to the illusions. So just with these spiritual awakenings, we shatter those.
Yes, and I look to try and figure out who are these slaves? What slaves? I mean, okay, the BDSM slaves, they want to be there. They like it, okay? That site? Are we talking about that site that popped up again? Okay. Well, anyway.
We just hit a new page. That's all. It took me a minute to register.
We already covered this, okay? Chris already covered this in one of his shows.
He did, yes.
Don't worry about it. They're not going to fire you for it.
No, I'm
most
sure
people
not.
don't know. I mean, the little people usually don't know what that is. Or, I mean, the kids, not the little people. I gotta watch what I say. The little people might know. Who knows?
I don't know. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Which reminds me of a story I read.
Jeez.
Okay, so, oh God, I got to get on from here somehow. Okay, basically, so the people who were being abducted and sold into white slavery or whatever kind of slavery in other countries, I couldn't do anything about that. I obviously didn't have the connections. So I asked, who are the slaves? And it was just like, I'm looking around and I'm looking at everybody working at their jobs, trying, like treading water, trying to keep up, not even being able to raise their own kids. You really don't own anything that the government can take away from you. They can take your land, they can take your home, they can take your liberty,
Sure.
They can take your possessions under certain conditions. They can take your family away from you. I'm like, oh, my God.
Right.
And most people spend their whole lives working and working and working and working to what? Own something a bank can take away.
Very true.
So, who's the slaves?
We're all slaves.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
You were looking at all of them the
Yeah.
whole time.
Okay.
That's true.
That's all I had to say for now. I'm gonna send you some stuff, okay?
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying you were looking at the slaves the whole time when you were looking around.
I was looking at the slaves, and I was one. By golly, I was right there with Charlton Heston, right next to the.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right.
We're Sparta. Oh no.
Well, thank you so much, Dee,
What,
for calling in.
whatever it is, dude, it's like, yes, we are the slaves, and we've got to get out from under that, and I'm one of the people who's here to help do that for some reason, and no wonder I've had so much trouble
Well,
all along. It's like, that would be a really scary freaking thing. A person who can end your drought.
right. All
I
right.
can end your drought, man. I sent rain and snow to a place where fires were breaking out from
Sure.
drought.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess we are scary
We are,
to some.
but I don't know. You got to live through the fears. But thank you so much for calling in, my lady. It's always wonderful to hear from you.
Right. Okay, and I love you guys.
We love you too, Dee. Have a great night.
Good night.
So one of our chatters, Mini Musings, a new name to me. I'm taking a liberty there. I'm making an
that's
assumption. They, Mini Musings, said that regarding NDEs, I wouldn't characterize them as paranormal, but I think esoteric is a better category title for it.
Sure.
So there you go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a very spiritual experience, which of course paranormal experiences can be very spiritual. Oftentimes when we hear paranormal, we think spooky, scary,
Right.
And that's not always the case. I mean, angelic experiences are paranormal.
Well, supernatural. But that falls into the heading.
Right. I mean, it's it's semantics at that point.
Yeah, no, sure.
So, I mean, it's just beyond the normal. That's what paranormal means.
Right.
And so if it's not something that normally happens, it's paranormal by the strictest definition of the word, although we recognize that it has other meanings and it has more profound meanings than that. But yeah, you're right.
Right.
And I don't think anybody's wrong on that. So
no, it's just one of those things. Hey, a shout out to all the people that may or may not still be with us. Deb went the way of the sleepy ones today.
Yeah, she said she had to get up earlier. Yeah,
Julia had to go, and so thank you guys if you hear it later. But anyhow,
Many Musing says she's a female, by the way.
Yes, I saw that. Excellent, I was correct. Don's occasionally right.
It does happen. Even a stop clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Ooh, boom. Sorry.
Wow.
That was cheap and easy, but Don, that's what I love about you.
Oh, thanks, Ashley Madison.
Well, that might explain why it's on my computer. What are you doing while
I
use
don't
the
touch
restroom?
your computer. Don't touch it. Nope.
No, I'm just kidding.
Not mine.
I don't know what the hell it's doing up there. I think it's still up there if I go back to that tab. It doesn't look like it changes ever, so I don't know what's going on.
Wait a minute. It says,
Oh, yeah.
hey, had to happen some point.
Yep, it's time for Don's mic, and that's not even me, ladies and gentlemen.
Check. Hey.
And he's back.
So it's William's fault because I mentioned William. William Benson says Bennett. Yes, I'm sorry. My mic, it threw me. William Bennett said, "Oh God, I love you guys." My mic's not staying lit.
Yeah, well, we've heard enough of you for tonight.
Oh, Don's been mutinied.
It's a mutiny.
Wow.
Yeah, your mic is
got
just.
through most of the episode.
You did good.
Check.
We still got about 20 minutes left, don't we?
Yeah, mutiny, would you?
I'm gonna mute you. It's a mutiny. So, ladies and gentlemen, I love these shows because it gives us a chance to just share these ideas, and I like that it's a fluid concept on nights like tonight, because honestly, doing a show that's 2 hours long, if you're stuck on one topic, you got to keep one topic interesting for a whole long time. So, are you back? No,
it's gone. I think.
I'll mute you again. Just keep doing it. I don't know what the answer is. We'll rotate it out with that other microphone again and see if that'll fix it for a while. I don't know. You have something wrong with microphones.
Check. Well,
Hey,
the funny
there
thing
you go.
is,
You're back.
the night I had to do 2 Wednesdays ago when I had to do it from home because I was sick, I had no issues with my mics.
Right, that's
None.
true.
Yeah,
Well, it's
none.
in my house. You have issues with my.
Well, yeah. Well, it
in the
may be that
studio.
EVP. Maybe something's trying to talk to me, and it talk to us. Oh,
Right.
by the way, look at the ghost box. The ghost. Look at all those.
Someone's been here.
Yeah. So I noticed this when we were talking to Dee. I was like, holy crap, that thing's got like 4 listings on it.
Yeah, it does, and they were all in the 7 o'clock hour.
Wow. So right when we began.
Right.
No words, just spirits in the area.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
when we were talking about smudging.
So at 7:21 Pacific time, that detected 2 spirits within 25 yards of the detector. And then again for about 6 seconds. Or no, the same 2 spirits lasted for about 6 seconds. And then at 7:26, it again detected 2 spirits within 25 yards for about 19 seconds.
Oh my!
So they were here.
They're hanging out. They're checking us out.
They didn't even give us a like.
Hey,
Man.
yeah, exactly. Next time you hit that like button. Damn it!
No, I'm just kidding.
Subscribe and hit that bell. What are you doing?
So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. During the shows like this, when we don't have a guest on or anything, I do run this app on my computer. Now, it's one of those ghost apps, and quite frankly, I don't know that they're at all accurate.
To it.
What's that?
That we don't subscribe to it necessarily.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know. I know that so computers have magnetometers in it, which basically detect electromagnetic fields, because that's basically in a nutshell how wireless works. It's electromagnetic signaling back and forth from a receiver to a receiver. So what it does is it measures the electromagnetic flux within that bandwidth, and it's a pretty limited bandwidth. So it's not as good as a robust detecting a millimeter or something that detects a really wide range. But it does detect within the scope and range of the wireless. Now, something seems to trigger it, and I don't know what it is. Now, the interesting thing was this very app that I'm using. I was years ago driving around with a friend at that time, but it's no longer a friend. But anyway, long story. We were driving around, and we both had this app installed on our phones. Now, the interesting thing is that it also has a word generator built into it.
Right.
And it's essentially the concept is that the spirits can use their energy to pull words from a database. Now, this concept to me is really hard to get my head around, because it's like, how the hell do the spirits know what energy equals what words? There's not like a learning curve involved here. And I know spirits probably don't have all the hurdles we physical people have, but how can they just know that, if I want to say this, these are the energy flexings that I need to accomplish?
Right.
That to me doesn't make much sense. But I will tell you this, that both of us had the apps on our phones and we're driving around. Both of our phones would generate a word. Each phone had a different word, but at the same exact time over and over and over. So it was actually detecting some kind of atmospheric condition that caused it to spit out a word. Now, in both cases, it was different words, but always from the same flux or whatever was going on. So apparently there is something to that it was detecting something anomalous and spit out a word. Now, could that have been a naturally occurring phenomenon as we drove? Sure, it could. I don't know. But I will tell you that I've run it several times. Actually, every time I'm doing the show, like the bedtime stories and stuff,
right,
I'll be running it. So it's 7 days a week, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'm doing a show. Well, it has oftentimes just sat there idle for months.
Not done a thing.
Nothing happens. And then every once in a while we get a weird night, and suddenly it'll be spitting out words, or it'll be detecting spirits, and so something seems to trigger it. What it is, I can't say is paranormal at all.
Right.
But there's something atmospherically going on that is not constant and seems to be random. Either it's just a random atmospheric thing that just happens or doesn't, or it could be perhaps detecting an anomalous EM field and triggering because of that. But again, the magnetometer on computers is not real robust. It has a very limited range, so it's not going to be as compelling as, say, a millimeter or other device that's built to detect a wide range of EM fields. So that's the gist behind that app. I think it's at least interesting, and oddly enough, every once in a while it'll spit out something really pretty fascinating that seems to tie in somehow with the conversations that we've had. And we've been doing this for about a year now, right, Don?
Right. Yeah.
Been running this app. So,
yeah.
And in fact, on Monday's episode of the Paranormal Portal bedtime stories, I turned it on before I even went live. Boom! I turned it on, and a few seconds later, the word "wait" came through. WAIT. And I'm like, wait for what? And I started doing the episode, and for the first time ever doing the show, my microphone did what Don's did. It never does that. My microphone never has those issues. And at one point, I even said during the show, and you can go back to Monday's bedtime stories and review it, but I said something like, the pattern of static almost sounds like it could be an attempt at words. It's really strange. And it was quiet at that time, and I said it's almost like a EVP. And as soon as I said it, it went into about 15 seconds of that weird staticky, stuff going on. And I just sat back and looked at the camera like I'm doing now, just going, and then it quit again, and then it was fine for the whole episode again. So could that be a spiritual presence? Sure, it could. I don't know what to derive from any kind of meaning from it.
Right.
But it just seems to be that, there is the fact too, ladies and gentlemen, and this is something I considered long before doing the show, is that there is a belief in the paranormal circles that whenever you discuss things, you are
Bring it to you.
You are magnetizing it to you.
Right.
And perhaps by virtue of doing a show called the Paranormal Portal and talking about strange phenomena, discussing ghosts and all this weird stuff, that perhaps it does magnetize this location to perhaps inquisitive spirits. Now, I do believe spirits are not always a location. They can perhaps be very mobile. Maybe they can go through wide areas. They don't have to be stuck. Some are stuck, not all are.
Dee says the same thing I said earlier. They're trying to give EVPs through my mic.
Yeah.
But I would appreciate if they do it while I'm not trying to do a show.
Well, that's the only time your mic is on is when we're doing a show.
Oh, that's true.
So they must be channeling through the static energy of the beard.
Oh, that might be. Yeah, and that's so the beard touches the mic, it shorts it out and creates an EVP, and then all kinds of trouble.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Lewis, I'd love a donation of an SB7 if you want to make one. Lewis, we are accepting donations here at the portal.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think instrumental transcommunication ITC is absolutely fascinating, and I guess getting something like that would be fun, and it would be fun to try it on the show. We have a great friend, Zara Hilton, who does paranormal white noise, and you can certainly look her up on YouTube. And her friend Glenn of North Nottingham Investigations.
That's correct. Over North Nottingham Paranormal.
Nottingham Paranormal. He also does a lot of instrumental transcommunication through spirit boxes and stuff.
He's a spirit boxer.
Okay.
A beatboxer spirit.
Oh, beatbox. I got
Gosh.
you. I wasn't sure what you were doing there.
That's doing the American thing.
Sorry, you're stroking out. Sorry. But no, it's they do a great job. And, of course, it's not that I'm opposed to doing it on the show, but they're going to do it a lot better than I ever could anyway. But it's something I guess we could do to try something new on the show, is do an SB7 session and see if anything comes through.
I don't know.
You're
I don't want to draw spirals to my side.
Well, here's the thing. You're kind of on the fence about a lot of this paranormal stuff.
That's true.
And you've always been saying you're like from Missouri, the show me state.
Yeah, yeah.
And you want to be showed.
It's actually more in misery because
it's all in the enunciation.
Oh, gotcha,
but
gotcha.
For the sake of the show, it'll be Missouri. In case we have any listeners there, we love your state. But
even they call it Missouri.
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 They do. But it could be a chance for you to have a real experience.
Yeah, true enough. I keep
I'm
that
just
open
saying.
mind. I will look for other answers other than just the fact that, things move on their own just because of simple things like condensation.
Yep, exactly. So maybe we could find you something. I mean, we could do EVPs sometime.
The magnetics, the silverware at the restaurant that day was kind of cool, but that was just magnetic. Somehow these forks and knives got magnetized, and a friend of mine was reaching over across something, and the silverware followed his hand.
Oh, wow.
And we found out later that somehow they had become magnetized.
Just right there on the table?
Right there on the table. Yeah, right there on the table.
How the hell could that be?
I don't know.
That doesn't even make
sense. Oh, there we go.
It's EVP time.
Many musings. Test.
I muted you again. You're muted, but many musings is Missouri.
Yes.
Missouri or Missouri?
Yeah.
And why do you guys say Missouri? I'm just curious how the I takes an A sound.
You're Midwestern. You should know.
I don't know how we always get compared to Canadians, so up in Minnesota.
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
Yeah. So yeah, many musings. We love them, Missouri. Don't get us wrong. My mom and dad used to always go to Branson.
Branson, Missouri.
Oh, they loved going to Branson. That was they had a lot of fun there. So you guys gave them a lot of fun, a lot of memories.
I've been past Branson, I think, or near
never
Branson. I've been near Omaha, so that's somewhere near.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Ah.
I'm geographically challenged. I just know.
Me too. I was told drive. Okay. Take I-15. Okay, fine.
Were you kidnapped at the time, or what was going on?
I wish I was.
I was told drive.
I did it willingly. And there it is. Yeah. So yeah, and
Dollywood,
then on the way back, I did like 14 hours straight. Like, okay, you have to drive now.
Duke says microphone gremlin problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always a possibility too. Perhaps we have a gnome here raising hell. I don't know. Not sure, but it's always weird on the portal, but in a cool way.
Minnie Musing says she pronounces it with the I, so it's Missouri.
Oh, you do? I didn't know anybody from Missouri pronounce it with an I.
She may be a transplant.
Oh, she is?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a curiosity.
Because I'm a transplant from Seattle, and I get told I have an accent. I don't get it.
You sound just like Nirvana. You got a Nirvana accent. That's so funny in my head. I don't know why.
Somebody's also told me one time when I was still in Seattle that I actually, from the back at the time, they thought I was Kurt Cobain. It's like, yeah, I'm the doppelganger.
Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, I met him and the band.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
You met all the Seattle sound people.
I met a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
shook hands with them. I told you that story about Pearl Jam earlier today.
Yeah. Eddie Vedder and all his...
Stacy says repeatedly.
I told you that story repeatedly.
I love you.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's our world here on the portal, ladies and gentlemen. God,
Peanuts are only good for peanut butter.
No, they're good for roasting with honey on them. Did I miss something? What are you talking about here? Is it an inside joke?
It was making a comment about the peanut gallery.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, that was way too sophisticated for my simple mind.
Oh, she's from St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Okay, so is that in Missouri? St. Louis, Missouri, right?
Minnesota.
Minnesota is not St. Louis.
No, St. Louis, Minnesota.
Oh, you're laughing at me. You don't even know where the hell it is. Yeah, see? You lost microphone privileges now. You made fun of me. See, that's what happens when you start messing with the host. The portal guards get you.
Cat says he got shot in St. Louis.
Oh, Jesus, really? Oh, man, I'm sorry, brother. That's got to be a terrible experience. And I don't mean to chuckle, but, I mean, you're just so matter-of-fact about it. It's like, yeah, I got shot there once. Really? No, I didn't mute you. So
This thing's just,
he's back, ladies and gentlemen. You've been forgiven by the portal spirits. The portal bouncers have forgiven you, Don, for your transgressions against me. Well, Nemcat, Jesus, that's horrible. You got shot. Wow.
I've been shot before. It's not fun.
You have?
Yeah.
Where did you get shot?
Let's just not talk about it.
Is this like you got shot in the can?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was in the leg.
Oh, well, I'm sorry you got shot in the leg. Jesus.
On this leg, right in here.
You're talking like a bullet.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I'm chuckling, but I got a feeling this is there's a funny story behind this.
You remember I'm a left-handed shooter, right?
So Don got shot in the left leg. I wonder how that happened, Mr. Left-handed shooter.
My mic's gone again.
His mic's dead. Oh my God. Well, the good news, ladies and gentlemen.
I survived. And it pops back on.
You care to explain how that happened? Since we're on the subject?
I said we're not going to talk about it.
Well, we already did, and you even explained it a little bit, which is more than I was expecting. So now I'm
not happening. Nope.
Were you playing cowboy and just twirling it around or something?
No, God,
okay,
no.
all right, just checking.
It was way stupider than that.
Oh God! All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is he's still with
I'm
us.
still here.
We're not sure how he had his brush with death, but we can be pretty sure that it was by his own hand, his alien hand. Maybe you were sleeping.
No,
Maybe
because that's my. Oh God! Don't say that, Don. Don't remind people. Yes, it was alien hands. No, apparently I'm lying.
whenever Don's lying, his mic dies.
Because here it's back again.
He's telling the truth. Oh wow. Yeah, Don has alien hand syndrome. If you're not familiar with the show, and he will sleep, and his hand will start attacking him. It's got to be the funniest damn thing ever. I just can't even imagine what that'd be like to wake up and your hand's trying to kill you.
It's hell. It's horrible. It's scary as hell.
I'll bet it is. That's
Is that
just creepy.
Paranormal?
I don't know. What's paranormal is that your mic just refuses to work tonight. I mean, usually it acts up a little bit.
So yeah, is Strangelovian syndrome, is that paranormal?
It is now.
It is now. If you say it is Strangelovian.
Strangelovian. Well, there you go. Well, that brings us about almost to the 2-hour mark. Can you believe it?
Yeah, actually I can. It's been a good night. And it's gone quick, but yes, I can
It
believe
always does go quick, and that's why I love when you're here, brother, because the nights go so much.
Welcome to the time sink.
So much better, and not that I don't love doing the show all the time, but it's just nice to have the conversation.
You're so sweet.
Well, I love you, even though you're one of a kind.
You still won't be my Gillian Anderson. I don't understand.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that's happening,
Scully.
brother. Yeah, there's no Scullying going on here. Let me just put that on the table. There's nothing like that going on, ladies and gentlemen. We have a platonic relationship.
I love you.
Yeah, well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the show, and thank you all for continuing to tune in and check us out, and all you new people, thanks a bunches, and if you like what you saw, please click the like before you head out the door, because, well, it just makes the YouTube gods happy.
Like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell.
Ring that bell, because when you ring the bell, an angel gets its wings. Just saying, I heard that. That's what I heard, so...
Brent told me I have to stop playing Paranormal Portal karaoke.
Not that we don't all love the...
Gloria Gaynor went right into my head.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it went right the hell out, too. So.
It almost came right out.
So anyway, guys, anything in closing, Don?
Keep listening and find out what our big news will be.
Our big news. We may unveil it on Saturday's episode.
See?
We may.
See? And, like I said, and Brent said, it may be anticlimactic to you, but for us, it's actually the next step in our evolution, I truly believe.
I do too.
So there you go. Thank you for being here Wednesday night. It's been a great day. Great stuff going on. And thank you to the new faces. By the way, Mini Musings, how are you new here, or have you been with us in the chat, or just lurked in the behind, or because this is the first time I've seen you. So, but have you been here with us before? And if you haven't, welcome to the family. Okay.
I'm just looking. Somebody said you guys have to leave a recorder in there overnight.
Yeah, that might be
oddly
true.
enough, I sleep so terribly that oftentimes I'm down here in the middle of the night.
You might be chasing him out, though.
I might be, but I don't know.
Here he comes.
Yeah, hide quick. Go back into Don's mic.
Yeah, no doubt. Get back where you belong.
That's where they stay, like a
gosh,
like a genie's bottle.
A Beatles song just went through my head.
Well, just keep them going that way. All right, guys. Love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and try to laugh as much as you're able. I'll be back tomorrow night for another bedtime stories on 7 days a week, 7 p.m. Pacific time. There's a portal going on, at least for now. I may have to scale that back in the near future. But what did I miss?
Mike Cool says, Don, your hand should be a lover, not a fighter. I thoroughly agree.
I don't even want to visualize what that would look like.
So Many Musing says, I found your channel last week. Thank you. She subbed last week. Nice. Thank you.
Oh, thanks a bunch.
I usually listen while I do other stuff. Well, that's actually great because, Yeah, it's just great. Thank you very much.
All right, and Duke says, "Don't hug the Wookiee."
Yeah.
He
Goodness.
drops that when he's on the show. He always spits it out at the funniest times, like when we're closing. All right, guys, love you all. We'll be here again. Don will be joining me again on Saturday, and we'll see what we're gonna do then. But remember, Friday night, Mrs. Deborah Varner is going to join us here on the portal and do free psychic readings to callers of the show. So definitely call in early and hold the line because, you know, the calls may take longer. They might not. It's hard to know. Some readings are quicker. Some are a little longer, but just trust that whatever's going on needs to go on. So
there you go.
We'll do our best to get to everyone on the list.
One more thing also. Don't forget Spaces Between, Friday night at 11 after Nikki Colombo, I believe it is, on TFR. Yeah. Catch her.
Yeah, our good friend Paisley Wild has a new show on TFR Network, which is where the portal started and still is every Friday and Saturday night as well. We are streaming over there as well as here on YouTube. But she does a show about just some really cool things with how would you nutshell explain it?
Paganism.
That's the word
occult,
I was looking for. I could not grab that word.
You know, and some Wiccan.
Yep.
You know, but mostly paganism and the meanings and things like that. Yeah. So she has a Facebook. You can either look, or not a Facebook, but a YouTube, Paisley Wild with an E, WILDE, or you can look for Spaces, the Spaces Between. That's the name of the show. So there you go.
All right, guys. Well, have a great night. Thank you again, and we will see you tomorrow night on the Bedtime Stories. Don't miss it, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah. And have a great night. Sweet dreams, everybody.